Stick around today on Two Guys on a Porch as we taste one phenomenal whiskey in Coy Hill, which we could distinguish between that and Jack Daniel's High Proof Single Barrel, and the fact that we don't have any answers to how to raise our children.
Welcome to Two Guys on a Porch. I'm Jason. This is Bradford, sitting on the porch again with my hunting dog, my trusty hunting dog, Louisville hunting dog, Kimber, enjoying a fellowship stick and a glass filled with the flavor of friendship.
Absolutely. We are glad you could join us today. And today, we're going to drink just two really exciting expressions of Jack Daniel's. One is their single barrel proof strength, which is a fairly new thing they've started doing. And we're talking proof strength in the 130 range.
Yep.
I think what we're drinking is 133 and change. And we're going to compare and contrast that to maybe one of the best whiskeys we've ever had, which is Jack Daniel's Coy Hill.
Legendary Coy Hill.
Yeah, it's one of those unicorn bottles that they've only released in the last few years. And it's, man, everybody wants it. We've had a chance to taste it before. Also, in the 130 range, I think what we're tasting is 128 point something.
Yeah.
So both very high proof Jack Daniels. We're excited about that. And we're smoking cigars from Mission Cigar and Social, the one in Franklin in particular, where we spent some time recently with Monty Collins, the proprietor there. And we have Liga Privada today. Do you know anything about Liga Privada, Jason?
Not only do I not know anything about it, I've never heard of them before, but wow, the first pull is quite nice, quite flavorful.
It is flavorful. This is the first Liga Privada I've ever had as well. It's a Drew Estate product, which makes a lot of different brands. This is their kind of luxury brand, if you will, and they did this to offer something in the Padron Opus X range. So that Opus X being the Arturo Fuente kind of exclusive luxury brand, the Lexus to Toyota, if you will.
Yep.
And this is the Drew Estate version of the same thing. So this is their luxury cigar, if you will.
And this is a Maduro wrap?
I don't know if it's a Maduro or just is a little darker. On the first taste, I don't get that overwhelming strength or power that you'd associate with a Maduro typically.
Neither do I. It has that appearance. That's why I was asking the question. I was expecting that strong, in-your-face Maduro, but I don't get that. And I was shocked by that.
Yeah, and, Monty has talked to us before about the fact that you can be fooled by the wrapper. There are three parts to the cigar. You've got the filler, which is, the bulk of the cigar, and then you've got the binder, which holds all of that tobacco on the inside, and then the wrapper. And most of the flavor comes from that wrapper. And he has said before that, don't be fooled by appearances. Just because it's a dark wrapper, maybe a Maduro wrapper, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be strong. And I think this, it would be fooled by appearances.
Kind of like you. That reminds me of you. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. All right. Fair
don't
enough.
be
All
fooled by appearances. That's right. And our topic today, it dovetails into some things we've talked about before. We've had an episode on parenting adult children, and this one we're talking about launching our children, or failure to launch, or the kids coming home after they've grown.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? How do you handle it? And some of the things that go along with it. So we're glad to have you on Two Guys on a Porch today as we jump into what we know what we're drinking, but again, we're doing this a little bit blind.
Yes. It's A-B. There's not too many choices here. Usually on a multiple choice test, true, false, you do pretty well on that. But these are literally the same thing. Same distiller, same juice, same process. The only difference is the rickhouse. Coy Hill, don't feel ashamed if you don't know what Coy Hill is. Before this whole process and getting into bourbons and doing this podcast, I'd not heard of Coy Hill. Yeah,
we'd not heard
of
it.
Coy Hill is the location of the rickhouse, and that's Jack Daniel's identified this is putting out good bourbon, and it became its own thing. And so much so, this was their first barrel release. They did not proof it down. They just released it because it was so good. And so for the longest time, it was the highest proof that Jack Daniel's would release. As you just mentioned, they now release barrel proofs from other rickhouses. The question is, can we tell a difference, and is it a difference? Because as we've discussed before, the rickhouse, the same barrels, same formula, same recipe, same mash bill, but its position in the rickhouse determines different temperatures and how that juice interacts with the barrel. So the question is, can we identify one better than the other?
Yeah, good question. And Coy Hill, it should be obvious. That rickhouse is a little more elevated, hence the name Hill.
Yes.
As opposed to the rest of them. So let's jump in and try these. And for those of you that are watching, I don't know if you can tell, but just the color on these is significantly darker than typical whiskey.
We're not proofing it down, or they're not proofing it down.
Yeah, I mean, it is just as dark as it can be. It's really in that brown range. It looks so rich as we go through this. And so,
and it's a stronger nose than your typical number 7.
Well, and credit to Jack Daniel's, you get a high proof whiskey on the nose, and if it's not a great whiskey, it'll burn you.
Yeah, and this does not
Not
do that
at all.
Yeah.
No, this first one, I haven't nosed the second one, but this first one that we're going to try is just sweet.
Yeah, buttery. I already smell caramel coming off of it.
Yeah, it's just wonderful on the nose. I'm not hitting that alcohol at all. And as we jump in for a taste, have you had a chance to taste?
Yeah, first taste just there, and you taste that alcohol proof level on the backside. Starts off smooth, but it's you can tell it's a higher proof on the backside. Not that it burns on the way down, but you can feel the power in that right there. Great mid palate, very smooth, full mouth, a little oilier. I can't say that word, oilier than your typical Jack Daniel's.
What word do you normally use?
Unctuous.
Yes,
it's easier to say for me. Yeah,
it is a little oilier.
Yeah, thank you for making me feel better there. But wow, this is. I mean, here again, we've had Coy Hill before, we've had Jack Daniel's before. We've not necessarily had a single barrel proof. So this is good. I like this. Now, is it better than what we're about to taste? Is this the Coy Hill or not? I'm not sure, but this is good.
It is good. I went and bought a bottle when they came out. These are not expensive. It's maybe $60, $65.
Right. Hard to find, but not expensive.
That's right. And typically what you see now is the store pick. Yeah. Because they are single barrel, they like to have their own and put their name on it wherever so your local liquor store is likely to have their own barrel pick. This being from Total Wine, so this is going to be different than the next barrel that's similar.
That's right. And so Coy Hill, you can identify that pretty easily by the red label. It will, at the bottom of the bottom of the label toward the bottom, it will say Coy Hill. So that confirms what you're seeing. But that red label is what really stands out. I was looking at before we started. It was put in the barrel in 11, bottled in 24. So it's about a 10-year age in that barrel there.
And Coy Hill's a little more expensive. How much more expensive?
Honestly, I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it's not, not that much more. It's $120. I mean, it's just hard to find.
It's one of those secondary market bottles. It typically is. I think we paid upwards of $1,000 for a bottle.
I think it was that much, was it?
The first bottle we bought was. We've seen whiskey prices come down, and maybe in the 700 range, 500 range, you can find them. But it's significantly more expensive than the other. I will say, because I just tasted it.
Yep.
I tasted the second glass.
Oh, okay.
That's the Coy Hill.
The second one is?
Yes.
Okay.
So you try it and see if you agree with me. I think you will. I mean, immediately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is probably the easiest taste that we've had, honestly.
It's remarkable how there's similarities, right?
Right.
You can both say, yeah, very easily Jack Daniels. You can pick up the charcoal.
Yeah, that's what exactly what I was about to say. That charcoal filtering, the Lincoln County process, you can really use that to identify Jack Daniels. But this, as I was just mentioning on the first one, that finish was a hot finish, spicy finish, spearmint. Not that it burned on the way down.
But it is a hotter finish for sure.
It is, but this is easy.
It's like eating candy.
Yeah, this is totally different.
And different taste throughout the process. Like it hit immediately sweet. The mid palate, you got some more rich flavors. And then the finish was just so smooth and had that vanilla caramel. Yeah, it's a different animal, I'm telling you.
To work backwards, the nose is not as strong.
Right, I agree with that. Yeah.
That's kind of surprising, but
the nose was almost, I don't pick up anything.
Right. It's a very faint nose, but after that, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like when we did the Pappy to Jack Daniels bonded comparison. The Pappy is significantly better, but not so much that you would go, well, I don't know. That Jack Daniel, I don't know if it measures up. But because it's really good. The difference between these two is remarkable.
I agree. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like that's an easy true false question.
Yes.
Now
we're saying that we don't know if
we don't know
right,
the answer yet. We may look really foolish here in a second.
But I would be shocked if we're not right.
Yeah. So I'll even go so far to say either Total Wine picked out a great single barrel.
Yes. The best ever.
Yeah. Or the second one is the Coy Hill.
Right. And I think we're right.
Oh, and Huff Daddy says we're right.
We are confirmed. Look,
wow.
It's almost like we know what we're doing, Jason.
Yeah, cheers. I think, I think of other high proof bourbons.
Like a Willet.
Willet. This is right there with Willet. I don't know enough to say how they get a high proof bourbon to be so smooth. But wow, because it's higher proof, it has a lot more character to it, a lot more flavors. You're no telling what you're going, personally, what you will taste in this because of the high proof.
Yeah, making whiskey is a combination of art and science, right?
Indeed.
And as opposed to a cigar, which is more art. They've been doing cigars the same way for 1,000 years. And I mean that very literally. And they're hand-rolled, the really good cigars. And it's so much art involved in that process. And whiskey, to me, is a little more complex because of that combination of art and science. It's like baking, when it comes to food. If you get something wrong, it's just not going to taste right.
But at least with baking, you just put more butter in there and it's going to be
butter
good.
And sugar, yeah. You would think. But, yeah, this is... it's just an example of the skill these folks have in distilling remarkable whiskeys.
But the thing is that, as we commented in the beginning, the
they
difference
didn't do
is
it different.
It's right. It's a different rickhouse.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, same barrel, same char, same process, distillation process. It's not, no doubt the distillers know what they're doing, but they didn't distill it differently. They didn't proof it down. They didn't combine barrels. These are single barrels. The amazing thing here is it's your rickhouse and the location of that barrel in the rickhouse.
Now, this is not so bad I'm going to throw it away.
You're talking about the Total Wine?
Yeah.
The Total Wine?
Yeah, I was tempted to just trash the bottle, but I'm going to put it aside. I'm not having any more for this episode.
Because you want to enjoy...
I've got my Coy Hill.
Got your Coy Hill.
I'm good.
Because at the end of the day, it's still 130 proof, right?
That's true.
You got to pace yourself here.
Right. At some point, I have to go home, Jason.
Yes, because you're not spending the night with me. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
I'm going to sleep on the porch
Yeah, I'll put you out
with
on the
the
porch.
dog.
Yeah, yeah. You and Kimber can spoon tonight.
Yeah, and then going back to the cigar, our first experience with this is I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, for a cigar I've never heard of. Wow, that's nice. Granted, I'm not the cigar aficionado, but I would put this right up. My favorite's Padron. I would put this right up there with Padron. It's a
Yeah.
different taste, but it's got that smoothness to it. But it's rich at the same time.
Yeah, well done, Drew Estate, Liga Privada, excellent cigar. Let's jump into talking about our children.
Indeed.
We have adult children, and I think about when my parents, I was the youngest of four by a significant amount, and we would come home for the holidays, and my father was so excited to have us home. Just look forward to having all four of us at the same time, and which was a rare event. It was a major holiday, or like Christmas, and that didn't even happen every year for us all to be there. And Dad would look forward to that, and then everyone would be there, and he was so happy. And I kid you not, 5 minutes later, he'd leave the room.
He had enough.
He was done
Done.
because it was loud.
Yeah.
My dad was an introvert, very quiet person, so it was almost the idea of having us home was a whole lot better than the reality.
Interesting. The whole concept failure to launch. There's the movie Failure to Launch, and so that's become a hot topic. Hot topic. The proof is coming to my tongue now. We all want our children to succeed, and our culture would say the picture of that success is your child growing up, going to college, getting a job, leaving the house, becoming financially self-sufficient, and doing their thing. But we love our children. Personally, I would love to have all my children every Christmas Eve and Christmas morning wearing their footy pajamas, running down the stairs, sitting around the Christmas tree, opening presents. That's
You want to turn back time.
I want to turn back time because I love my children. They're precious. There's nothing I would not do for my children, and yet the same dichotomy is that I want to see them succeed. As a matter of fact, I do everything I can do to help them succeed, and that success,
Which means leaving.
exactly, that success involves them leaving the home. But then I'm heartbroken that they're gone. So what are we trying to do? Do we want them to stay? Do we want to leave? Should I stay? Should I go? Yeah, it's schizophrenic almost.
It is a little bit. My dad, when I got out of college, I took a job about an hour up the road and just needed to get my feet on the ground. And he said, well, you can live with us until you get a few dollars in the bank and that kind of thing. But I'm charging you rent.
Yeah.
Now, it was a nominal amount, but it was the gesture of both, yeah, you can stay, and I'm going to make it clear that you're not supposed to be here forever. You're not moving back in on a permanent basis.
But is that an American mistake? You
It's
think
a good
about
question.
Other cultures, it's, particularly the Asian culture, or even you think of the British culture back in the day, maybe so now, but you would have generations living in the same house. And in England, you'd have the estate, and generations would live in that, obviously huge estate. Asian cultures, it was just, that was part of the expectation, is the children would take care of the parents, grandparents, and that they would move in with the children. This is one of those cultural things that it's standard in American cultures that the children grow up, move away, conquer the world. But I'm not completely convinced that's correct.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And in today's world, we move farther away, with the ability
Farther away.
Did I say further?
Yeah, you did.
Is that incorrect?
It is. Further implies a continuation. Farther is a distance.
So they move farther away. as a result. And you can hop on a plane, you can get in the car, and you can drive for hours. That didn't really exist until post World War II. And it's separated families more. And I think it's led to that maybe American phenomena of, yeah, you go out on your own. And as a result, my grown children, we just moved our oldest to Massachusetts. Our next one lives outside of Auburn, Alabama. We've got another one in East Tennessee. And our youngest, who's still in school, wants to come back to Nashville. He's the only one that will probably be close to where we live. And that's not to say we will live where we live 10 years from now.
Right.
So, and now we're at the stage we're seeing our son with his own children. So they are coming down in their footy pajamas, or about to, for the Christmas holidays. And we hope to get a chance to see that. So there's an element of, yeah, I accomplished really what I wanted to and felt charged to do in helping them, obtain their independence, financial and otherwise. So that brings me great joy, and I love having my kids home.
Sure.
But I don't want them to move in.
Yeah. Do you like your father? Do you kind of reach that breaking point of like, this has been great, but it's now time for you to leave?
Well, I think there's a plan that has to be in existence. When our oldest graduated from college and knew, the next step is grad school, but it may be next year, there was that, well, come home, stay until you get a chance to figure out what the next thing is. But my message to her was, I don't really care what you do, as long as you can pay the rent.
Yeah.
Now you need to go pay the rent. You need to have your own place and make sure you can do all of the grown-up things that come with that. And she did. And I think as a result, she felt very accomplished. She had done that.
Yeah, and there's something of that safety net.
Yes.
Like you go out and do your best, conquer the world. But at the end of the day, I've got your back. And as a father, I always want my children to feel like I have their back. You pick up the phone, I'm there. And that's essentially what you're saying. Hey, you're trying to figure out yourself. Trying to figure out where you fit in this world. Come back home while you figure that out. Economically, that makes more sense and allows them to do next things. But the same token, you want to teach them responsibility, so you charge them rent to live in your house, that type of thing. I don't know if there is a right answer. That's just something you have to kind of feel through. I guess the next iteration of that, would you ever have one of your children and their spouse move back in the house while they're trying to get established?
I hope not.
Is that the end of the world? I mean,
no, I would do that if push came to shove and that needed to happen. We've had family. My mother-in-law lives with us now. We've had other family members live with us. So certainly not opposed to the idea under certain circumstances, but that would not be the ideal scenario.
But, our viewers may not know this, but I know this. You have the biggest heart. Absolutely, you would allow them to move back in.
Wait, you give me shit about everything, and now you're going to say something nice?
All right, don't get used to it. You have the biggest heart. If somebody is in need, by all means, you can call Bradford up and stay on his couch. I guarantee it. Comment on the podcast. If you need a couch to stay on, just let Bradford know, and you can move into his barn-dominium, or what do you call that?
It is a barn-dominium, yeah. It's funny. One of the things that makes me most sad, whether it's a commentary on empty nesting or just kids doing their own thing, is Friday nights for 8 years meant that the girls didn't do this. Their friendships were different. But my son, who played football, he would, come home after the game, and my wife and I would sit on the porch after the game, and we would wait for them to come in. And I say them because it was he and his friends.
Yep.
And it was just standard that Friday night he was showing up with his buddies, and they were spending the night and staying up till, who knows when. And that was just part of it. For 4 years he did that. And so he goes off to college. Well, then our next one had a large friend group, and they did the same thing. And we were blessed to have a home, and we're intentional about creating an environment where they wanted to come. And so it was the same thing. We sat on the porch, and for, during the fall, they would come in on a Friday night, and man, I miss that to this day.
In your point that might be easily missed is that you did your darndest to create a home that loves them, that they love, and then what's the next thing you do? You say, "Hey, you're out of here. Get out of here."
Go.
Yeah,
Right.
you want them to launch, be quote unquote launch and be independent, but you create this loving environment that you say they can't come back to, but they want to come back. You did your darndest when they're growing up to engender them to come back home, and then they don't come back home, or that's your quote unquote desires for them to go out and be independent.
No, and you do hear stories of parents who talk about the fact that I don't see my children. They, they're living their own lives, and I do think they should. I remember my parents telling us, "Hey, don't plan to come see us for Christmas anymore. You have your own family. You need to establish your own traditions. If we want to come see you, we'll come do that." And I think that was really valuable. But I lament for those whose children either don't want to come or don't come, and they feel a bit lonely.
Yeah.
You move into that empty nesting phase, and there's a lot of joy in that, but then there's that loneliness, those moments of, well, where are the kids, and why don't they check in on us? So, yeah, that's a balance that I think we're both in stages of. We don't know exactly what that's going to look like going forward.
Yeah, and we have to go back and watch one of these previous episodes with Laney and Laney Hester. The one thing I took away from him that he looked back in his life that he saw as most valuable was his relationships with others. He would drive this is a guy very financially successful, lots of different businesses, a lot of personal accomplishments, and a lot of macho things. He drove sports cars, racing cars, and won races. And you ask him what he looked back in his life. One thing he really appreciated was the relationships he developed at the end of his career. He would just drive a car to help vets go to their doctor's appointments. A fairly remedial job, but wow, that stood out to him as being meaningful. And so at the end of the day, it's those relationships that really count.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's what Two Guys on a Porch is all about. I mean, we sit, smoke cigars, fellowship sticks, and drink interesting glasses of bourbon. But at the end of the day, it's about a relationship here. It's about having friends, talking about life, trying to figure it out. But yeah, that's it seems to be a reoccurring theme. You got to have a porch in your house. You had a porch when your kids were growing up. Maybe if you don't have a porch in your house, you need to build a porch.
That's a great point. Yeah, we had a class, Sunday school class at church, and it was one of these, hey, picture where you are when you feel closest to God. And my wife and I separately, we talked about it later, both pictured our front porch.
Interesting.
Yes, and here we are on your porch, and it really is. I think, yeah, you may not be able to build a front porch, but whatever that environment is that captures that relaxation for you to decompress, and whether it's enjoying a fellowship stick or a glass of whiskey, man, you got to find that place with others in community to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's a unique experience, and it's you might have that special man cave or whatever, but it's got to be some place where you get to forget about life and find meaning and stuff without the commercialization of the world.
Yeah, and I will say, you can drink any whiskey and enjoy that. But if you have an opportunity to drink Coy Hill, I think you've elevated your game some.
Yeah, so, we've walked into, I remember walking into a liquor store in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, not Michigan, Minnesota. And it was on the top shelf, and I recognized it instantly, that red label. And so Coy Hill is one you might find where people don't recognize what it is because it's relatively unknown. It's a
To
unicorn.
them, it's just Jack Daniels.
Yeah, high proof Jack Daniels.
Right. Which would scare them away.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink that. That's going to burn me. I like my esophagus. I don't want to get rid of it. But this is, we've done a lot of blind tasting. This is the easiest by far.
Well, and some of these, like I would take that barrel proof Jack and I would add I'd put ice on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Needs a rock.
And it would be great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't dilute this at all. This Coy Hill, man, it's so good by itself. That's the way you want to drink it.
I totally agree. And to me, it's again amazing that at the end of the day, it's just the rickhouse. Unless we're missing something here.
No, you're right. I feel like we have to be missing something. It couldn't be that much better.
Yeah, that's the secret to the sauce is
like
a
where's
barn.
the cheat code?
Yeah, exactly. A barn sitting in the middle of the country in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Just that's hot and cold and
yeah, a stone's throw from the other rickhouse.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it's an isolated location. It's down there. So yeah, go figure that magical rickhouse does so much. But wow, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, as many cases when we sit on the porch and address an issue, like launching our children, we didn't come up with the answers. We got a lot of questions.
Yeah,
we don't have all the answers.
That's part of it. Just talking through it, right? It's the fun sitting on the porch. Are we required to come up with answers?
No, I think that's just the reality of life. Is you wrestle with the questions. I think that's half of the. Maybe I don't want to say maturity because I don't want to put ourselves in the realm of we're mature, but I do think part of it is just the ability to ask those questions and deal with them without feeling like you have to come up with the answers because we don't have them all.
Yeah.
And
we're assuming there is an answer.
That's true
there
too.
may not be an answer. It's the old thing. It's not the destination. It's the journey.
Yeah, and what may work for one may not work for another. Yeah. So, but what we hope is that time on the porch works for everyone, and we hope you guys have a chance to, on your porch, join us on ours at Two Guys on a Porch.
Cheers.
Please like and subscribe, rate, all the stuff you do on all the social media platforms. Thanks, guys.
Let us know what your drink and cigar of choice is at twoguysonaporch.com, and you'll be entered into a drawing to get some Two Guys on a Porch swag